Afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, Hump Day, May 20th. Bradshaw Live Pandemic Quarantine Edition. We're supposed to get going at 4:30, but because it is Hump Day, we are starting our show just on time for regular Bradshaw Live at 5:30. No, seriously, we were 1 hour late preparing for today's show, but as they always say, better late than never. As Denisha says, Brad, you're late, man. I know that. That's why I'm talking about it ahead of time. But everybody, happy Hump Day. I hope everyone had a great day. Here in New York was a nice, beautiful, sunny day. I hope it was a nice, sunny day where you were in your part of the woods. We got to say hello to our squad who is waiting patiently for us to start. 57 minutes late today. That's terrible. My apologies to everybody. Sheer blessed and highly favored parents. Squad up. Jessica Leamy. Squad up. Myrtle Ray. How are you? Violet Blackwood. Squad up. Deshiba Buchanan. Good evening, everybody. Anna K. Moxham and Forrest Mushy. How are you? Melanie. Abiola Aline. In the house with her flags. Howdy from Texas, says Christine Marie. Denisha Joseph, Brad, were you sleeping? I felt like sleeping. I wanted to go to sleep, but actually I was ready, waiting to do the show. I've been working all day, speaking to clients. But trust me, Denisha, I really wanted to go to sleep, but we got a show to put on, so I am here. Joan Grant, squad up. Sasha Ford, squad up, everybody. Perfect timing. Toddler taking his nap. You know, Sasha texted me. She says, wait, let him sleep. Let him sleep, and then start the show. Dion Watson, Jeff Bosey. Haven't heard from him in a while. Hope all is well out there in Long Island. He says, hello, good sir. Hope all is well with you and your staff. And I'm saying the same thing to you. Elizabeth Francis, squad up. And Joy Titus saying squad up as well. First Lady Leah and Carol Anderson, the Tiger. It seems fitting that Jeff Bosey joins us on Hump Day. And let me say hello to the squad on YouTube. I saw Carol, the top, Cat Tigress 2 Anderson. She's the first one in the comments section. It's not a race. Trust me, it doesn't matter that you are first. Just really, we don't like you to be second. No, I'm only kidding. Carol, the top Cat Tigress 2 Anderson says, hi, Brad Hunt and Jill, squad up. Russell Talukder, squad up. Denise Johnson, how are you? Juan Garcia, King TV. What's going on? Angela Rawlings. Ja Love saying hello. Cordella Douglas. Cheer up, my Cordella. Everything will be good. I promise you. Tali. Dave Kamacharia, squad up. Olukokin at DG saying hello. And of course, Lady Leah as well. Before we get into our schmooze, today is Hump Day. So besides talking a lot about Hump Day stuff, which is a lot of fun, today is the day we announce the winner of the Bouncing with Brad Instagram contest on Instagram. That's correct. If you followed Bradshaw Live on Instagram and you liked the Bouncing Brad and you tagged 5 of your friends, you got your name put into my scratchy old hat. And out of that scratchy old hat, I am going to pull the name of one lucky Instagram follower and liker and tagger to get a free consultation with me valued at $200. I have my hands in, wait, yeah, now you can see. I have my hands in here, and the winner of the free immigration consultation is, now I'm going to put it back. No, I'm only kidding. No, I'm going to put it back. No, I'm only kidding. No, it is Bad Gal Tosh 23. Bad Gal Tosh 23 is the winner of the free consultation this week. Congratulations. She found the Bouncing Brad on Bradshaw Live on Instagram. She tagged 5 of her friends. She liked it. She got her name put in my hat, and she won a free consultation with me. Bagdal Tosh 23. That is actually one word there. Bagdal Tosh 23, not 2. It's one word there, Lee. Bagdal Tosh 23. If you are listening or somebody knows Bagdal Tosh 23, Let her know that she won. And of course, our very own Pizza, I am sure will drop her a DM and let her know, or him, maybe it's a him. I don't know why I think Bagdal Tosh 23 is a woman. I don't know. Maybe it's a him. So I kept saying her, but it could be a him or her, whoever it is. Pizza will let you know. But if anybody knows who Bagdal Tosh 23 is, let them know as well. Now we have a new contest. That is correct. Every day we start a new contest. There will be a new contest on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. Lee, do we have the photo, the page up? We have a new contest. It's the same Bouncing Brad, but this time I am behind an American flag. Let's put that one up again. Find the Bouncing Brad behind the American flag with the two squiggly lines. Like that post on Instagram, tag 5 of your friends. Make sure you're following Bradshaw Live, and you too may be pulled out of my hat for a free consultation every Wednesday, and that'll be next Wednesday as well on Hump Day. Of course, you can always ask your immigration questions live on our show right now. We're only taking social media questions because we can't get to our phone system in our office to answer the phones, to transfer them to us here. But eventually, once the quarantine is over, we'll be able to take telephone calls as well. In the meantime, you can leave your immigration questions. You can leave your immigration questions in our comments section, and I will be happy to answer them. If by any chance I happen not to answer the immigration question that you leave, wait a few minutes and then ask it again. Don't ask it 5 times in a row. It gets confusing to me if I answered it or not. So give it a few minutes and then ask again if I didn't answer it. If I end the show and I still haven't answered it, don't fume. Don't get mad. Don't blow your top. There's a very easy solution to all of this. You can follow me at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram. If you follow me at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram, you can drop me a DM with that exact question, and I'll be happy to answer it as well. So don't fume. Don't get mad if I don't answer it. There's always a solution. And of course, if you want to have a one-on-one consultation with me, you got to get on Uncle Brad's list. How do you get on Uncle Brad's list? You got to call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAWLINK, 1-800-529-5465. You call that number. If you're outside of the country, you can call +1-212-227-8933. You call that telephone number. Somebody on my staff will answer, and they will put you on my list. I will call you on the day you want me to call you. Maybe you want me to call you tomorrow on Thursday. Maybe you want me to call you Friday. Maybe you want me to call you Saturday. You got to get on my list. And obviously, you got to pay the consultation fee. And every day I wake up and I get my list and I start calling. I get coffee, I get a list, I get my pen, and I start dialing people and calling people and speaking with them. So to get on my list, all you got to do is call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAWLINK, 1-800-529-5465. Finally, folks, the last thing, you know exactly what I'm going to tell you to do. Please, if you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe. And if you are watching on Facebook, we want you to like and follow us. Why? Because that way, every day, you will be notified when we come live on the air. As you can tell, we advertise, we promote that this show is going to start at 4:30 on the dot. You better be there. And you all know this show is never starting at 4:30. It could start maybe 4:40, maybe 4:50, maybe 5 o'clock. We stretched it out 58 minutes late today to 5:28. I think we started. You certainly do not want me running an airline. If I was running an airline, your airplane would be perpetually not on time. But since it is Bradshaw Live, there's an easy solution. You follow us. You like and follow us on Facebook. You subscribe on YouTube. Now, a lot of people say to me, you know, I'm scared. I don't want people to know my business. Now they know my business. Nobody knows your business because you're subscribing to me on YouTube. And nobody knows your business because you follow and like me on Facebook. More than a majority, a great majority of people who like and follow us on Facebook, who subscribe to us on YouTube, have no immigration problems whatsoever. Nobody from the Department of Homeland Security is wasting their time going through our list of subscribers. They couldn't get it anyway because it's not a public thing. But even if you think the government could break through into YouTube and Google and get that list, how the hell are they going to find you anyway? So don't worry about it. You want to be able to follow us so that way you get the best entertainment, the best advice. And I do this for free every day to try to help as many people as I can. And of course, if you are watching right now, please share this with your friends and family. There is nothing better than sharing this with your friends and family, getting them to be part of the Brad Squad. And people say, well, what is this Brad Squad? The Brad Squad is everybody you see right now making comments. Everybody I said hello to, that's the Brad Squad. You got to subscribe, you got to like and follow. And then we have a group on Facebook that Jill is the moderator of. And you apply to Jill to become part of the Brad Squad, and you're in. You're part of the team. You're part of the squad. With that being said, we got to do something every day here on Bradshaw Live, and especially on Hump Day, something we like to call Schmoozing with Brad. All right, so we start off every day with statistics from the Johns Hopkins University. There are now over 4.9 million coronavirus cases worldwide. 325,000 people have died. More than 2 million people have recovered. In the United States, more than 1.5 million people have been diagnosed with coronavirus. America has approached, unfortunately, the grim number of recording 94,000 deaths. We're going to hit 100,000 probably by next week or maybe earlier. More than 365,000 people have recovered from the hospital. Now, as of today, every state in the United States are all reopening in some sort of phase. The question is it safe? And how many people are going to go out? And are people ready to go shop? Are people ready to go eat? Pictures from some parts of the country are now reminiscent of pre-pandemic times, with Americans venturing out to parks to soak in the spring sunshine, visiting beaches, gathering, many without masks, in open bars and restaurants. Yet as of Tuesday, at least 17 states have now recorded a clear upward trend on the average new daily cases of coronavirus, a rise of at least 10% over the last 7 days. Only 16 states' average new daily cases dropped more than 10%. Now, some experts are saying the declining case rate should be one guide for figuring out when states should relax social distancing restrictions. Other experts are saying, well, it's really not fair to say that the coronavirus is rising so much. It's also very possible that we're testing more in those particular states. And as a result of testing more, we are getting more recorded coronavirus cases. I don't know what the answer is there. I think that the resolution, or we'll know whether this reopening was successful or not, because you can't fake death. So we'll see, unfortunately, how many people die as a result of the early openings, because that can't be faked, and death is death. And let's hope that number. I hope from the bottom of my heart, I really hope that all of these Republicans are right and they reopen the country and everybody is safe. I really hope it. You know, because as I said, every day we're fighting two wars. There's an economic war and there's a coronavirus war, and we got to be able to figure out both. You know, and people were asking me off the air, they went, well, how do you do it? How do you fight both wars? Because you either got to stay in or you got to go out and have like this herd mentality where everyone gets sick, but we go about our day. But I got to believe that there was a way which the U.S. has totally missed the boat on. And I don't know, because I'm not a public health expert. I'm not an elected official. So I haven't really looked into it other than just my own personal opinion of seeing what's going on. You know, my novice public health abilities based on just reading. But there had to have been a way that we could have quarantined and restricted movement of people who were most prone to be needing a ventilator and getting sick. Those were the unhealthy people, the obese people, the people with hypertension, the people with heart conditions, the people with underlying diseases, elderly people. There could have been a way. I don't know how. Okay. But I can't even get Bradshaw Live started on time at 4:30. So how we would have done this if I don't know. But there could have been a way that we could have separated or at least quarantined the people who are most at risk, as well as have a lot of people following through on these, so-called, somebody gets, I forgot what they call it, somebody gets sick in a restaurant, and then the tracers, and they trace people who were near them. And we could have ramped up tracers very early, and we could have quarantined or restricted movement of people who were more likely to get sick. And yes, it would have affected the economy, but maybe not a complete shutdown like we did. But that would have had to have been done back in January and February when our elected officials knew this coronavirus was coming. By the time mid-March came and the coronavirus was ravaging through our society, it was too late to do that. And, our President Trump, he says, I did the best I could. But the reality is they knew coronavirus was coming. You want to know why they knew? Because there are two senators, Senator Burr, and there was a female senator, I forgot her name. They were on a Senate panel, and they had a secret testimony about coronavirus. And what did they do? What did they do right after this secret panel on coronavirus in January? They sold all of their stock that they knew that these companies were going to have trouble because of coronavirus. So they knew it was happening. As a matter of fact, Richard Burr, he had to step down from his chairmanship of a very powerful Senate committee because he's now under investigation for insider trading for information he learned about coronavirus back in January. So for any politician in the federal government, I don't know about state government, but for any politician in the federal government to say they didn't know, I wish I had a bullshit buzzer, because they knew in January. Meanwhile, beaches in Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, they're planning to open for Memorial Day weekend, and the governor of Pennsylvania has now offered a word of warning. Let's watch.
I'm not sure why the governors of Maryland and New Jersey have opened their beaches, but they have.
Now, reopenings appear to have the momentum for now, including slowly for sports without a crowd in attendance. Officials said yesterday the Belmont Stakes, for example, the third leg of the Triple Crown, is going to be held on June 20th without any crowds. They're perfectly fine. It's probably going to be the largest television audience of a horse race ever in the history of the world, because people are so desperate for sports and gamblers are so desperate to bet on something. I'm telling you, this is going to be a huge, huge ratings win for whoever is televising the Belmont Stakes. People are desperate for sports. Meanwhile, the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, the other two legs of the Triple Crown, they're going to be moved later. The normal sequence is Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and then the Belmont Stakes. And then for those who follow horse racing, if you win all three, not only did you win millions of dollars from each particular race, the owners of that particular horse, but then there's an extra $5 million bonus if you win all three races. Meanwhile, Florida and Georgia, they're facing scrutiny for their coronavirus data reporting. Florida and Georgia, two states that were among the first to announce the reopening of businesses and public spaces. They've come under scrutiny for the accuracy and transparency of their reporting. In Florida, Rebecca Jones, the official behind the state's dashboard, which I guess is a web page showing the number of coronavirus cases and deaths in Florida, she said she was removed from the project and questioned the state's commitment to accessibility and transparency. Apparently, these numbers are not necessarily correct coming out of Florida and Georgia. In Georgia, for example, data tracking coronavirus cases has come under question after a misleading chart was posted on the Department of Public Health's website with the dates out of order, suggesting cases were declining over time, but the reality, they were not. So they were pushing the dates. As an example, I didn't see the chart, but there was a lot less death on May 9th than there was on May 11th. So then on May 7th. So May 9th was put before May 7th. So it looked like the chart was going down when it was really, the deaths should have been like a heart monitor on a heart patient. But the reality was that they made it look like it was a downward trend. Canada and the United States, they're extending border closures to June 21st. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said Tuesday the border is a source of vulnerability, so the agreement will be extended for another 30 days. The restrictions were announced originally on March 18th. They were extended again in April. So now we cannot get into Canada, and Canada cannot get into the United States till at least June 21st. Now, the Canadians, for the first time ever, nobody wants Americans. We're like the dreaded Americans. Nobody wants us. The Canadians fear America now. They don't want any Americans coming into Canada because the United States has more confirmed cases and deaths from coronavirus than any other country in the world, though its per capita numbers are well below many other nations. Now, Donald Trump does have, a point where he says that the United States is testing a lot more than many other nations. So we're catching more people who are ill with coronavirus. But the thing you can't fake is the number of deaths. The number of deaths are the number of deaths. Now, I've heard, believe it or not, I've heard from some sources, and I don't know if this is true or not, that a lot of hospitals are saying that people died of coronavirus. If somebody comes in with a heart attack, they died, and they died necessarily of a heart attack. Perhaps they also had coronavirus, and they're listing the cause of death as coronavirus, not heart attack. So there are circumstances, from what I understand through word of mouth, I don't know if this is true or not, that many hospitals where there were multiple causes of death, heart attack from, and the person did have coronavirus, that they're only listing coronavirus as the sole reason for the death. But again, Donald Trump does have a point where we are testing more than many other nations, so we are catching more people who are getting sick. Now, in other news other than coronavirus, Michigan is getting a double whammy, which is unfortunate. Thousands of Michigan are now evacuating because 2 dams have failed. There is flooding going on in certain areas of Michigan. So now they have the double whammy of both coronavirus and an environmental disaster. It was a result of a rain-swollen river, which breached 2 dams, flooded fields and streets in parts of mid-Michigan, forcing evacuation orders for thousands amid the coronavirus pandemic. Now, parts of the city of Midland, Michigan, and surrounding areas were virtual lakes this morning, and it looks like it's going to get a lot worse. Downtown in Midland, a city of about 41,000 people, downstream from the dams, eventually they say it's going to be 9 feet underwater. 9 feet underwater is, in essence, if you're in a 2-story home, that water is coming into the window of the 2nd story of your house. That's how high the water is going to get in Midland, Michigan. This morning, in a flash flood warning statement, the National Weather Service said this is a particularly dangerous situation. Seek higher ground now. Seek higher ground. I'd be seeking to get the hell out of there. That's what I would be seeking. There's nothing good can come from staying in Midland, Michigan, if the water is going to be going up 9 feet. That's like tsunami water. Now, in Midland, about 150 residents of the Riverside Place senior residence, many with walkers or riding in wheelchairs, they were evacuated Tuesday evening. With the coronavirus pandemic months underway, officials in the county are juggling both public safety crises at once. The flood disaster is one of the first to test how local, state, and federal response efforts can handle this dual challenge. And finally, before we get into our hump day, it's possible the U.S. Immigration Service may run out of money by the end of the summer. Would you believe that? U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services is now asking Congress for $1.2 billion, a bailout. The agency claims it's going to run out of money by the end of the summer without aid due to a decline in immigration caused by the coronavirus pandemic and also caused by Donald Trump's restrictions on immigration, other countries' restrictions on travel, and the fact that necessary government offices are not open to process all of the applications that are coming in. Now, for those who don't know, USCIS is a self-funding agency, meaning that all of the filing fees that immigrants pay for the benefit of getting a green card, getting a work permit, having their biometrics done, it self-funds the Immigration Service. The U.S. government does not pay one penny to USCIS for immigration form processing. It's all paid and funded by the immigrant who is applying for the benefit. Now, to mitigate the budget shortfall, USCIS is planning to implement a 10% surcharge on all applications and sought Congress's help on Friday. As of this moment, they are not charging the surcharge. This is what we're reading in the news, but it's possible that every filing fee may go up by 10% at any given moment so that USCIS can stay in business. Believe that. Now, asylum processing also at the southern border is almost stopped as the Trump administration officials implemented a program to rapidly return migrants to Mexico without so much as a health exam. So we have an issue of coronavirus and Donald Trump combining, and the lack of travel combining to reduce the amount of applications received by immigration. And as a result of that, they're not getting the fees and revenue that they need to process the cases. So I'll keep you updated over the next few days on what's happening with USCIS and USCIS going bankrupt and USCIS asking immigrants again to cover their costs and even increase their fees. With that, it is Hump Day, and we have some camels. Where are the camels? The camels, we have cartoon camels. The real camels are back in the Bradshaw Live studio, but we have our cartoon camels right now. And let's see what our Hump Day news is. Everybody strap yourself in, so to speak. And let's get going on Hump Day news. And just as a word of warning, part of the fun for me for Hump Day news is I haven't read it yet. So as I'm reading the Hump Day news, I'm going to react with you as well. It makes it more fun. Now, according to a new study, the coronavirus could linger in a man's testicles, making men prone to longer, more severe cases of illness. This is not Hump Day news. This is sad news for men, but all right, this is how we're starting our Hump Day. Researchers tracked the recovery of 68 patients in Mumbai, India, to study the gender disparity of the virus, which makes a worse toll on men, according to a preliminary report posted on MedRix, which hosts unpublished medical research papers. Dr. Aditi Santrini, one second here. Dr. Aditi Shastri, an oncologist at Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx, and her mother, Dr. Jayanti Shastri, a microbiologist at the Kasturba Hospital for Infectious Diseases in Mumbai, said the virus attaches itself to a protein that occurs in high levels in the testicles, which makes sense because we've been saying that you can pass a coronavirus from semen. We talked about that in last week's Hump Day. Meanwhile, I don't know how many people watched The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. Dennis Rodman, he was a power forward on the Michael Jordan's last championship team. He's a bit crazed. He was married to Carmen Electra for 2 days in a drunken stupor in Las Vegas. And in one of the episodes of the documentary, there was Michael Jordan pulling Dennis Rodman out of a hotel room with Carmen Electra to get him back to the basketball courts. And in another scene, there was a description of Dennis Rodman and Carmen Electra literally having sex in the mid-court of the Bulls practice facility. So now we recently also learned about Dennis Rodman's wild nights with hotties and vodka with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Yes, we recently got to know how Kim Jong-un really holds court when NBA legend Dennis Rodman dished on his bromance with the Kim Jong-unner or Kim Jong-un. While appearing on ex-boxer Mike Tyson's Hot Boxing podcast a few weeks ago, Rodman spilled all the details of his 2013 trip to Pyongyang when he was traveling with the Harlem Globetrotters and other dignitaries. After a game, Kim Jong-un invited Rodman back to his home for a wild party that Rodman says included vodka, hotties, and karaoke. Rodman detailed how an 18-piece band of hot women came out and only played this theme song from the 1978 TV show Dallas. We have some video. Let's hear.
We go to dinner, and we just shooting this we getting drunk and stuff like that. He gets up and starts singing karaoke. He has like this 18-piece women's band. I mean, these girls are hot.
But only singing the song to Dallas. That's hilarious. He added that he saw Kim Jong-un's military and missiles, but he never talked politics with the dictator. The politics, I don't get involved with that, he said. I came here to bring sports, said Rodman. And when it comes to Kim Jong-un's alleged poor health, Rodman says reports have been wildly exaggerated. He told the New York Post last week that he believed his old pal was doing just fine and probably spending his time, like most Americans, watching the Jordan documentary, The Last Dance. Meanwhile, porn star Ron Jeremy, he's famous from the 1970s. He's an old, heavy-set guy now, but he was a famous porn star back from the 1970s. There he is. He complained Saturday on Twitter that Con Edison, who is the electric company, wants to cut down a tree in Queens his father planted the day he was born on March 12, 1953. The tweet includes a 2-year-old picture showing Jeremy hugging the tree on Bell Boulevard near Horace Harding Hardway. "Help me save the tree," Jeremy wrote in a tweet. "The tree was planted by my dad the day I was born. Please let Con Edison know that they cannot tear down this tree." But Con Edison says the tree is on city property and that it will be up to the Parks Department to remove it. Now, Jeremy, who's hunkering down in a Hollywood hotel during the pandemic, told the Daily News that a neighbor who looks after the tree alerted him this week that its trunk was wrapped in yellow tape. "I looked after that tree my whole life. They tried to chop down the tree years ago, but I wouldn't let them. I belted myself to the tree." Well, Jeremy made headlines in November 2017 when more than a dozen women accused him of sexual assault spanning 3 decades in a Rolling Stone article. Meanwhile, the strip clubs are starting to also open up, and it's now pole dancing and hand sanitizer, at least certainly in a Wyoming strip club. Exotic dancers at the Den, the rural strip club on the Colorado-Wyoming border, recently returned to work, but the dancers are following state rules and wearing masks. Some are wearing bandanas, some are wearing surgical masks. One mask looks as if it was swiped from a construction site. They're seeming odd accessory for women wearing a mix of G-strings, bikinis, lingeries, but following the rules of masks. Now, there's no way in the world, by the way, that you can social distance in a strip club. The whole idea that women, if listen, I'm not a pastor. I've been around the block. You go to a strip club, the women make their money by dancing in front of you, not 6 feet away from you. So I don't know what, wearing a face mask is going to do. Now, one of the strippers says, "I'm super excited. I'm a little nervous because the virus is still out there, but I'm glad to be able to go back to work because a lot of people can't yet. The stimulus money was nice, but that's going to run out, and I don't like to feel like I'm dependent on the government." Now, at this particular strip club, the hand sanitizer is everywhere, but dancers are also touching patrons, exchanging cash, and I am sure that by the end of the day, the best, I guess, most sanitized place in the entire strip club will be each stripper's breasts, I guess, if the men keep giving hand sanitizer, I guess. Meanwhile, in Texas, they have a Go Topless Jeep weekend, and unfortunately, it led to 189 arrests. Not even the coronavirus pandemic could stop Texas's annual Go Topless Jeep weekend, a wild party that resulted in nearly 200 arrests, and they raised eyebrows on social media A viral local report about the boozy beach bash in Galveston showed maskless revelers drinking, twerking, driving around in ATVs. As cops just said, it's impossible to enforce social distancing. Let's play the video clip.
Wash them hands for 20 seconds and keep them clean with their Germ-X. Totally.
So that segment by that woman became an instant classic, with dozens sharing it on social media. Not even SNL could not write something as ridiculous as this. Actual real news report from my local station tweeted at Maria Rendon 97. Now, the topless Jeep weekend rager resulted in 2 men getting shot after a fight and 189 people arrested, the majority for drug possession, some traffic citations, said the Galveston County Sheriff's Office. Meanwhile, officials have reminded the public to avoid touching other people's balls as crowd giggles. Yes, as the country slowly reopens amid the pandemic, officials are reminding residents to maintain certain social distance measures, like not touching other people's balls, tennis balls, that is. Yes, ahead of tennis courts reopening in Long Island, New York, Nassau County, Executive Laura Curran emphasized the importance of only handling your own balls. If you and another player from another household, she explained during a press conference last week, you can touch each other's balls, but players should otherwise take every precaution to avoid coming in contact with balls of unknown origin. I would say that goes across the board, not only for tennis, but for all sorts of things. You should not be coming into contact with any person's balls of unknown origin. Let's play the video.
You can kick their balls, but you can't touch them. I'm going to blush, sorry.
Although she managed to get through most of the conference with a straight face, she broke when she told the audience to mark their balls to avoid mixing them up with other balls. Finally, no, there's not a finally. Yes, there is a finally. Finally, a reporter was caught cheating. This was quite funny, except for the reporter and his poor wife. But a reporter was caught cheating when a half-dressed woman walked by at home during a live shot. A Spanish news anchor was broadcasting from his home when a naked female walked past in the background, and viewers were quick to play detective to discover the woman, what was not a wife, was not his girlfriend. That's right. Alfonso Merlos was hosting the Estado de Alarma channel live on YouTube a few weeks ago when his fellow journalist Alexa Rivas gave quite the cheeky display, leaving fans wondering what happened to Merlos's partner, Big Brother contestant Marta Lopez. The 41-year-old broadcaster said he and Lopez were not officially together when the publicized parade of impropriety occurred. We were on a break, he claims. Now, according to Lopez, the couple was still an item, but merely had... I'm only kidding. There's nobody here. According to I'm not even on. According to Lopez, the couple, if anybody was watching, I just turned around. I didn't realize that we still had the picture there. I was going like, no, stay, don't walk past. There's actually nobody here. According to Lopez, the couple was still an item, but merely had a fight. And after quarantining together since March 14th, they spent 14 days apart, during which the spicy broadcast took place. Lopez told the outlet, I had been mad at Alfonso for 4 days. He didn't want me to do something that affected my family. I did it, and he got mad. We argued. But that still doesn't add up, because Rivas admitted she had been dating Merlos for 3 weeks. She told Socialite, I didn't go into the breakup of a relationship. He told me he was single, and we've been seeing each other now for 3 weeks. That was the naked woman who was walking past. Perhaps even more scandalous, Merlos and Rivas broke the strict rules for coronavirus social distancing. Spain has endured some of the world's toughest containment measures since March 14th, restricting leaving the house for anything other than essentials. And what's also funny is I've seen lots and lots of memes now, lots and lots of memes where people started wearing jeans originally in the house, then they went to sweatpants, and now people aren't even wearing clothes in the house anymore. They're literally just walking around naked. Everybody's quarantined for weeks and weeks and weeks. Any event, that is our Hump Day news of the day. We're going to get into answering your immigration questions in about 2 or 3 minutes. I do want to remind everybody to please share please like and follow us on Facebook. Please subscribe on YouTube if you haven't subscribed. You should subscribe right now. You'll become part of the Brad Squad. You're going to be notified every time we come live on the air. On Facebook, start your watch parties right now. Tell your friends, tell your family. We know who starts their watch parties. Tell your friends, tell your family. We're going to be answering your immigration questions in about 45 seconds. Also, join the Brad Squad fan page for Brad Squad VIP content. How do you do that? First, you got to follow us and like us on Facebook. Then you got to subscribe to Brad Show Live on YouTube. And finally, you got to ask for admission by Jilly Bean, who is the moderator of the Brad Squad fan page. And you can join and meet a great group of people. That's really the best part about it, is meet the greatest group of people, plus get some Brad Squad VIP content. Finally, you saw me pull out of my scratchy hat earlier today the winner of the free immigration consultation. You can go to Instagram at Brad Show Live, find the Bouncing Brad, like Bouncing Brad. Bouncing Brad has a American flag behind him. Tag 5 friends on Bouncing Brad. Follow Brad Show Live, and you can be pulled out of my hat next Wednesday. Of course, you can also follow me at Real Brad Bernstein. If you follow me at Real Brad Bernstein, you can always drop me a DM, and I'll be happy to answer your immigration questions. Finally, you can call us at 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465 to get on my list of people to call. And with that, let's get into some immigration questions. I'm going to be starting on Facebook, immigration questions. And let's see what we have here. And so far, just people's telling me hello. Nobody has any immigration questions on Facebook. Could that be? Here it is. Christine Marie with a question. I have a question, please. How long after submitting a EAD and AP renewal application for it to be approved? I also submitted it to be expedited 2 weeks ago and submitted the I-45 and I-131 at the end of March because EAD and AP expires in August. Please and thank you. Wait, if you filed the I-45, you mean the I-765 and I-131 at the end of March? Well, first of all, your work permit on a renewal will most likely not be expedited because by law, when you go to renew your work permit, it gets an automatic extension for 180 days past August. So you will be work authorized at least through February or March of next year. Now, as far as advanced parole, the only time that they are going to expedite advanced parole is if there's a death in the family, and you would need to submit a death certificate and show that it is a close family member. Sometimes they will expedite it too if you have a very important business meeting, but other than that, you're going to have a hard time getting advanced parole expedited. Let's see what else. Stargirl Mika. Brad, can I pay my mom's visa fees online with a credit card? Yes, you can. Olukan Adiji Oliapo. Can a green card holder file an adjustment of status for an out-of-status spouse concerning that their I-130 has been approved and priority date is current? No. Only a spouse who is married to a permanent resident who is in legal status can file an adjustment. If the spouse is out of status, then you would have to wait for, I don't know if you're the one, whoever the permanent resident is, to become a citizen of the United States. So once the spouse falls out of status, you can't adjust based on marriage to a permanent resident, unless, of course, that person is 245I. Denisha Joseph with a question. What's the next step after receiving an I-79C to create online account? The LPR is filing for the spouse overseas and the category is current. It is still a long wait time. I'm asking for myself. The 797C to create online account, you're talking about with USCIS or with the National Visa Center? Please be a little more specific. The 797C is generally receipt notices from immigration. So I think you're going to have to wait a little bit until you get the I-130 approved. Netta Nat Sinclair says, hi, Uncle Brad. My husband put in his citizenship from last year, August 25th until now. Still waiting for an interview. Yeah, it's going to be at least probably another 3 or 4 months. They're very backed up because they didn't do any citizenship interviews for the last few months. Monica Stone, I don't have an immigration problem, but just to be informed, I don't miss your show. I'm a real squad. You are my university, heart. You see, folks? Monica Stone, no immigration issue, 0. She subscribes, she follows and likes, she watches the show every day. Just because you subscribe, just because you follow and like, doesn't mean you have an immigration problem. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Thank you very much, Monica. Let's see what else we have here. Rosemarie James. Hi, Brad. I petitioned for my mom in Jamaica. She went to Trinidad and spent 5 years. I have sent all the documents needed except for the police report from Trinidad. I've been trying to get this report for a couple of months now and unable to do. Do you think I can go ahead and send the Jamaica police report and leave Trinidad? No. You have to be able to show a police report from every jurisdiction you lived in from the age of 16 on. If you lived there for more than 6 months, and she lived there for 5 years, you have to get the police report from Trinidad. If you're still having a problem, give me a call. Get on my list. It's 1-800-529-5465. Janice Brown. Uncle Brad, did you hear that USCIS is having a cash problem and seeking a bailout from the government? They're saying it's because of low application and the new laws. Yes, we talked about that today. Mary Anderson. Hi, Brad. Good evening. If you married and second time, and when you were going for your second interview, does immigration ask about your first marriage and they need proof of the first marriage? They will ask about the marriage if that first husband filed for you. Then they're going to want proof that at least the first marriage and the second marriage is legit. So you could be asked about both marriages. If it was a situation where the first husband did not file for you, then they're just going to want to know where's the divorce decree so that you were clear to get married a second time. Fiona Williams, just with a comment. Let's see. Olukan, we answered that question already. Philman Guram. Hello, Brad. For those who resettled in the USA from another country, after how many days or months will they get a green card? Well, if you paid the fee online, it should take about 8 weeks. Patricia Lusant. Brad, is it true that if you get a denial, USCIS is extending the date to reply 60 days from the date you were supposed to originally apply? I need to file an I-290. The 60-day extension is only for a request for further evidence, which is an RFE, or a notice of intent to deny, which is a NOID. You still only have the 30 days on a denial if you need to appeal. Patricia, if you've lost your case and you need to appeal, I think now is the time that you need to call me at 1-800-529-5465. Kenny Sang says, hi, Brad, if you get a combo card, how long should you travel out of the country if you have a pending VAWA case? Adjustment was filed as well. It says you can stay out indefinitely as long as you come back before before your green card interview. But quite frankly, if you stay out for more than 4 weeks, they can give you a big hard time at the airport. It's supposed to be for short trips. So once your trip goes over 4 weeks, it's no longer a short trip. So my advice to all of my clients and everyone in the Brad Squad, don't travel more than 4 weeks out of the country on an advance parole. Pradeep Ram with a question. Uncle Brad, I have a question for you. Okay. Can I petition my family and son, including my parents, to come to the U.S. and then proceed their documents to become resident here in the United States? You cannot petition. You can petition them, but you can't. You're either filing an I-130 visa petition for them, and they're going to get their green cards abroad, or they're going to come here on a non-immigrant visa, and then if they are eligible to adjust and they don't commit a misrepresentation, perhaps adjust. I think, Pradeep, that you need a consultation because your question doesn't necessarily make 100% sense to me. Let's go to YouTube and see what's going on YouTube. Rupan Talakdor, USA granted asylum, went on third country, married a fiance, all done, spouse waiting for the interview abroad. Is it good enough proof to interview? They went one time to the third country, married, and met only one time. I think meeting one time and getting married at that one particular time, there could be a question about whether there's a valid marriage or not. But certainly if you can prove a relationship and you're texting each other and sending money for support and everything else, then that could go a long way to proving that it's a real marriage. Juan Garcia, thank you very much. He says he's going to watch this later because he volunteers at a food bank. That's very nice, Juan. George says, hi, my wife and I should be doing an interview soon because of her military deployment. However, she said after the interview, I'll have to move out if I get through. I will get a 2-year green card. Well, that's not good. She's already ending the marriage before you already got an interview for your green card. I think you need a consultation, George. Let's see. Nadia Coatland. Hi, Brad. If you're married to a U.S. citizen and you did an adjustment of status and a biometric in November 2019, how long is the wait for WP and work permit, WP, work permit, and social security number? And if you haven't received it yet, what should you do? If you filed the adjustment in 2019 and you didn't get any RFE, the work permit takes about 6 months. If you haven't gotten it yet, we're now in May. You filed in November. You're at about the 7-month mark. Maybe you need the help of a lawyer. Make sure you're doing everything right. Sam Hawa. I got a question for you. I got married and filed the I-130 and got the notice with priority date for November 2019. And now I checked the processing time and they're working October 23, 2019. Any idea what I'm going to hear from USCIS? Well, if they're up to October 23rd, 2019 and you're November 21st, 2019, you figure another 2 to 4 weeks. D. Gore, my friend's marriage-based case was scheduled for an interview in April. USCIS canceled because of Corona. Then 2 weeks after she got a denial letter, what can she do? I don't know why she got the denial letter. So if she got a denial letter and it was an error, perhaps a motion to reopen. If it was a denial letter and she did something wrong, then we got to refile again. She needs to have a consultation with me. Call 1-800-529-5465. Honey Kerry, a child who is a U.S. citizen wants to file for a parent who is living in Jamaica. What are the forms needed to be completed and what is the total cost? Well, there's a $535 filing fee. It's an I-130 visa petition. The U.S. citizen has to be over the age of 21. Jerry Stewart, when I get a green card holder petitions for a spouse and it's approved by the USCIS, how much longer does the filing take after the approval? Shouldn't take more than 6 months if you do everything right at the National Visa Center because priority dates are current. Miss A and K, for VAWA cases, should you file an I-45 with the I-765? Absolutely, you should, because other than that, it'll take you 2 years to get a work permit. Roddy Noel, hi, Brad. My sister went for a green card interview 7 months ago. No decision yet. My employment authorization is about to expire in November. I want to know they're going to renew it for me, even no decision yet. Yes, and you need to file for the work permit renewal about 3 months beforehand. And even if they don't give you a work permit renewal by that date, your work permit is automatically extended 180 days past the expiration of your work permit. So you'll be okay. So yes. Kevin Hunt, I live in Jamaica. I don't have a criminal record, but I pled guilty to unlawful wounding. The case was dismissed. What should I answer at my immigrant visa interview? What? Kevin, you have a criminal record because you got arrested for an unlawful wounding. You say the case was dismissed, but you pled guilty. If you pled guilty and a sentence was imposed, then that is a conviction for immigration, even if the judge dismissed the charges years later on some sort of expungement. You have to bring a police report and you have to tell the truth. And if it makes you inadmissible, you're going to need a waiver. And it sounds like you need a lawyer. But the worst thing in the world to do is lie about it because the government's going to know about it. And once you lie about it, then you are effed. You're never coming here. So your best bet is to get a good waiver, a good lawyer, and tell the truth. Charlie Chocolate and the Chocolate Factory. Hi, Brad. I'm trying to get my travel history online, but I'm not getting through. Is there an alternative way to get it? You can do a FOIA. But you should be able to. I assume that the website will be up shortly. I didn't look at it today. I didn't know it was down. But you should be able to do it on the website. But if you're having trouble, give me a call. But you could also do it as a FOIA. Mickey Bush. Hi, Brad. My mother is a green card holder. She passes due for her citizenship, but she can't read and write. So what is the best way to handle this, please? Well, if she's over the age of 55 and she's had a green card for more than 15 years, she doesn't have to read and write. If that doesn't apply to her, then she's got to either learn to read or write, or she's got to get a doctor to say that she has a mental incapacity, which makes her unable to read and write. It's not good enough just to say, I didn't learn to read or write, I didn't go to school. Then they're not going to make you a citizen. So we got to reach that age of plus 55 and had a green card over 15 years, or she literally has a mental incapacity. I mean, I don't like to be politically incorrect, but, in the past they would say she's retarded. Nobody likes to use that word anymore, so we say mental incapacity, but that's what basically we're talking about. Red Fraggle has a question. Can a B1 be, and I'm not saying that's your mother, I'm just saying that's what the doctor would have to show, and not only the doctor would have to write a letter, but would have to do a test to figure that one out. Red Fraggle, can a B1, B2 visa holder who got married in the United States file an adjustment of status and then leave and return multiple times while the adjustment is being processed? You cannot leave while an adjustment application is being processed unless you leave with advance parole. If you leave with advance parole, the answer is yes. If you leave before you get advance parole, that automatically denies your adjustment of status application. And you are not allowed back in the US because you've shown an intent to get a green card. You won't get a visa again. So then you get stuck outside of the United States. And if you overstayed your time by more than a year, you have a 10-year bar too. So it's an absolute red fraggle. It becomes a huge red fraggle to you, like a huge disaster. Like red fraggle sounds like a disaster to me. It's like it becomes a big red fraggle, a big disaster if you leave without advance parole. Once you file the adjustment, you only leave with advance parole, no other way. Honey Carey, what are the fees for USCIS if someone is filing for a parent who's living in Jamaica? What are the forms needed to be completed? What is the total cost? It's a I-130 visa petition. The filing fee is $535, and I think you need a consultation. My telephone number is 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAWLINK, 1-800-529-5465. Wow, I just lost my place. Leslie Benoit. Hi, Brad. My cousin got married to a United States citizen. He had a previous adjustment pending. The marriage doesn't work out. He filed for VAWA. Can he get divorced and remarried without the approval of VAWA? The answer is you can get divorced, but you can't get remarried until the I-360 gets approved. If you get remarried before the I-360 gets approved, that's the end of your VAWA. But the answer is you can be divorced, but you got to wait for the I-360 to be approved before you get remarried. Now, there's many times when the I-360 gets approved and the I-485 is still pending and you haven't gotten your green card yet, you're free to get married. It's the I-360 VAWA that needs to be approved before you remarry again. Daniel Agbana. Hi, Brad. How long should I wait for my combo card? I filed this January. Well, people who filed in November are still waiting, so I guess you got about another 2-3 months, unfortunately. Halani Arif, I've responded to the RFE 7 months ago. How long do I have to wait? I'm a VAWA applicant. I don't know. I don't know what your RFE was. I don't know what you responded to. So maybe you would need a consultation with me, but I don't know where you are on your case. I'm not sure what the issue was on the RFE and where you are in terms of your status. So I would need to know a lot more. Whale Millie. Hey, Brad, can USCIS deny an I-751 if all your paperwork is legal and I came here legally and I'm still with my spouse? I mean, can they accuse you for fraud marriage even if it's not? Yeah, they could do whatever they want. They can, when I was in law school, my first class, first words out of my professor's mouth, and I think I've said this many times, is a grand jury can indict a ham sandwich, which means anybody can accuse you of anything. Okay, so you could be accused of a fraud marriage by immigration. You could be indicted for a crime you didn't commit. That happens all the time. Now, Just because they accuse you of this and deny you doesn't mean it's a fraud. And that's why you have a lawyer, and that's why there's judges and everything else. But the answer is, can it happen? Sure. Has it happened in the past? Sure. Have people had to hire lawyers to overcome it? Sure, of course. Hi, Brad. My I-131 was approved yesterday. How long can I wait for my green card appointment? I have no idea. I don't know. Magic 8 Ball. Jala Waldo wants to know. He got an advance parole. I don't know anything about his case. I don't know where he filed, who filed for him, if he even filed correctly. The only thing I know is that he has an advance parole document. I don't even know who his petitioner is. I don't know if he did the affidavit of support right. I don't know what city he lives in. I don't know what category he filed in. But he'd like to know when he's going to get his green card appointment. The day he will get his green card appointment. Magic 8 Ball, when will that day be? The Magic 8 Ball just says it's certain you're going to get a date, but it has no idea when. Just like I said, I don't know when. All right. Becky Hallelujah says, I subscribed and shared Bradshaw Live, and afterwards I got my green card. Thanks to Uncle Brad, his team #1 law firm in USA. Becky Hallelujah. Thank you very much. JT has a question. If my spouse is on disability and I'm under a VAWA case, I received a new work permit last week. Is my case approved? My spouse is on disability. I'm under a VAWA case. No, it doesn't mean just because you got a work permit does not mean your case got approved. It just means your case is still pending. Back to Facebook. Pradeep Ram. Hi, Uncle Brad. I have a question. Can I petition my family and son, including my parents, to come to U.S.? Okay, and I said he needs a consultation. Barry Ann Walker. Can my cousin's baby father file for her after his divorce, his wife for 7 years after getting citizenship? Can my cousin's baby father file for her after he divorced his wife for 7 years after yes, as long as they remarry. You're allowed to fall in love, fall out of love, and fall back in love. Apparently, he has this U.S. citizen, is married to a woman and has a baby with another woman. And he's now a U.S. citizen, and maybe he even got his green card through the wife that he wants to divorce. You're allowed to fall in and out of love. It's perfectly good. Patricia Lusant. Uncle Brad, I have another question. I submitted a FOIA request for my deceased uncle, trying to find copies of adoption certificates for his daughters in Haiti. USCIS sent me everything except the dates requested, which are the dates he filed for his daughters. What are my options? I think your options are to have a consultation with me. Let me look at the FOIA. And a lot of times I can find information out of the FOIA that you otherwise wouldn't be able to see. So give us a call at 1-800-529-5465. First Lady Leah wants to know, hi, Brad, how long after receiving a notice of receipt for the I-360 application will you hear from immigration, and what is the next step? It takes at least 18 to 24 months. Linda Shaw, just with a pre-comment of the day. Uncle Brad, thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. We really appreciate it. Thanks a million. Thank you. Drea Allen has a question. When adjusting the status of a minor 12 years old, will he be given an interview date, or is the interview not required for minors? Generally, interviews are required for everybody, but they have been waiving some interviews, so hopefully yours will get waived as well. Stargirl Mika has a question. Has any of the squad traveled on advanced parole? Because if it doesn't guarantee you to come back in, why would someone chance it? You don't have to ask the squad that. You're guaranteed to come back on advanced parole, I promise you, Stargirl Mika. If you have advanced parole, you'll come back as long as you stay out of the country for not more than 4 weeks. It's not a chance. You'll come back. I've gotten over my career tens and probably over 10,000 advanced paroles for clients over my career. Nobody's ever not come back. Kate Simon with a question. Hi, Brad. What if my two-person is married, one live in another country, but place understand misrepresentation for fraud, and the spouse is a U.S. citizen and is a citizen? How can she show depression? Would the person have to show they're on medication for? Okay, All right. So basically, there's a marriage, and the person in another country has a misrepresentation. This is Kate Simon's question. I had to put it through Facebook to English translator, and want to know how they can demonstrate depression to help on a 601 waiver. Depression is demonstrated by going to a doctor who says you're depressed and treats you for it. Other than that, you're just saying I'm generally a sad person. That doesn't really work very well. Monica Stone wants to know if she can fly from Jamaica to Canada because I can't go to Canada from the USA. Well, right now, no one from Canada can come into the US, and no one from the US can come into Canada through June 21st. So ask me that question after June 21st. Finally, the last question of the day. Hi, Brad. How can I go about applying for my parents to come to the USA? Can you give an example for a green card holder and a citizen? Will it be a visit or can they migrate? You can only apply for your parents if you're a U.S. citizen. If you're a green card holder, your parents can apply for a visitor's visa, but it would not be you applying for them. It would be them applying for a visitor's visa. Let's go quickly to YouTube to see some last questions on YouTube as well. Susu with a question. Hi, Brad. I really need your help. I married my husband 10 days after we arrived in the U.S. Would that be a problem for me when I file for him? Yes, it's a misrepresentation. You definitely need my help. Give us a call at 1-800-529-5465. Angela Jimenez, my Dominican brother was petitioned by my U.S. citizen dad. My brother is also a citizen of Spain and has overstayed his visa. Can he apply for advanced parole and travel to DR to finalize his case? My Dominican brother was petitioned by my U.S. citizen dad. Why would you wouldn't apply for advanced parole? You would apply for a provisional waiver. And so he needs help. You apply for a provisional waiver to go to the Dominican Republic to pick up your green card. Perhaps your brother's 245I. I just spoke to a woman who called me up and says, I need help with a provisional waiver. And after talking to her, I said, you can get your green card here. You're 245I. You're grandfathered in. So tell your brother to give me a call. And the last question of the day, and this will be it. Quandrin Andelian. My brother was deported 2006 to Africa for nonviolence aggravated felon. He left in state the wife and 6 children, all of them American citizens. Can he come back if they sponsor him? It depends what the aggravated felony was. There could be non-violent drug offenses, but you'll never come back. So I would need to see his entire record before I say whether or not you can come back or not. And with that, Lee, we have some comments of the day. Comments of the day, Lee. What do we got? Stargirl Mika, 4:30 Brad Show live time. And Cordella Douglas, thanks, Uncle Brad. You are so wonderful. I believe in everything you say and do. God bless you for doing this great job helping everyone who reaches out to you. Thank you, Cordella. Olukin Adiji, Brad is an amazing man, always sharing loads of helpful information. Glad I found him online. It's so good to be a part of the squad. Thank you. And Monica Stone, Brad, you're so funny with the Magic 8 Ball. Well, we try to lighten it up. Also, everybody, if you like the show, and you're watching on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. Turn that gray button blue. In addition, please subscribe on YouTube. And when you subscribe, you will get a notification every time we come live on the air, and you will be able to watch our show on Facebook. Please follow and like our show so you can also be notified when we come on the air. And of course, once you do that, you can join our Brad Squad for all the VIP content, as well as you get to meet the greatest group of people in the entire world at our Brad Squad group page on Facebook. And what else do I have to say? If you need help, you got to call me. I can't help you if you don't call. 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you waiting around for me to show up late. I'll take all the abuse today for being late. I apologize. We will try to be more on time tomorrow, a little after 4:30. Thanks for watching and happy Hump Day.